So today we're going to read a nonfiction book. Do you know what nonfiction means?
Yeah.
What does nonfiction mean?
It's real.
It's real. Good. And what is our book about?
Penguins.
Penguins. We're going to read about penguins. Before we get started, I want to do a little brainstorming activity. Can you think of any words that you think of when you talk about penguins or when you think about penguins? What do you think about when you think about penguins?
That they're white.
White. Okay. What else?
Fluffy.
Fluffy. What else?
They have a little black around them.
So they're white and black. Okay. Can you think of one more word that you think of with penguins?
They're cute.
Cute. They are cute. I love penguins. Okay. Excuse me. So before we start reading, we're going to make some predictions about what we think we might learn in the book. And since it's nonfiction, there are some different things that we can look at to tell us. Do you know what this is?
Yeah.
What is this? It's a table of contents. Do you know what a table of contents does?
No.
No? It tells us what each chapter is going to be about. So if we wanted to know a certain thing about penguins, we could come look in the table of contents. Also, we have pictures that help us see what the book is about. So looking at our pictures, what do we think we're going to learn in the book? What do you think this picture is going to tell us? What could you learn by looking at this picture?
That they're walking all around the world.
Okay, so where they are in the world. All right. And if we looked at this picture, what do you think we could learn from that picture?
They're swimming.
Penguins swim. All right. Before we start reading, do you have any questions? Is there anything you'd like to learn about penguins? What's something you don't know about penguins?
I don't know how they lay eggs.
How do they lay eggs? Or do they lay eggs?
Yes.
So we don't know how do they lay eggs. What's one other thing you don't know about penguins?
I don't know if baby penguins can go walking by themselves.
Oh, can baby penguins walk when they're born? That's a good question. I don't know that question either. Okay. Before you start reading, can you do me a favor and put your gum in there? Thank you. Okay, so we're not going to read the whole book because we don't have time to read the whole book. But I want you to read up until this page where you see the paperclip, okay? Can you read that book out loud for me?
What birds cannot fly? What birds spend most of their lives in the ocean but are not fish? What birds live in the coldest part of the world? All year long, they swim in the marsh.
Swim.
They
Good.
march. They slide.
That's a tough one. Through
the snow. They are penguins.
Good.
All penguins live between the
This is a tough word. This is called the equator.
the equator
It's on the map right there.
and the south
Yeah.
pole. Some live where it's very cold. Some live in warm places like the coast of Africa or Asia.
Ooh, that's a good try. That one's Australia. That's another country. There you go.
Penguins live in islands on coast
Good.
and even on ice.
Good. Break it into 2 words.
Ice springs,
Icebergs. Good.
iceboats in the sea. They just need to be near winter because they spend most of their lives in the water.
They spend most of their lives in the water. I'm going to have you read this page and then we'll be done.
Penguins
Good. Perfect.
for their lives at sea. They have a
Yep. Sleek. Good.
shape for speed and
Layer. Good.
layer.
That's a funny word. That word is called blubber.
Blubber keeps them warm.
Good. So when we read the little parts that we read, did we learn how they lay eggs? I didn't think so. Did we learn, can baby penguins walk when born? No. So what we can do is go back to our table of contents and see where we could find an answer to that. So in this chapter, it's called, What Are They? Well, we already read that one. It told us what they are. Where are they? Where do you think that would tell us? Would that tell us where they live?
Mm-hmm.
And then what's for dinner? Well, that's not going to tell us about eggs or baby penguins. Life on land, would that tell us about eggs or baby penguins? Probably not. What about a chick is born? Do you think that might tell us about baby penguins? So what page is a chick is born?
18.
Good. So then we go to page 18 and we see if we can find out how do they lay eggs and can baby penguins walk when they're born. So here it says most penguins lay 2 eggs at a time, but often only 1 egg survives. The mother and father take turns keeping the egg warm. When it hatches, the parents keep the chick warm and fed. After a couple of weeks, hundreds or even thousands of chicks wait together while the parents go back to the sea to find food. As the chicks wait, they are in constant danger from eagles and other animals. Finally, the parents return with food. They have to find their chicks in a huge crowd of baby birds. How do they do it? The baby birds sing special songs to help their parents find them. In a few months, the whole family returns to sea. So I don't think either of our questions were answered in there, huh? But can you tell me one thing you learned about penguins when we were reading this book?
They are fast swimmers.
They're fast swimmers. All right, and your predictions were that we were going to learn where in the world penguins were. And did we learn that when we looked at that map? Did we learn where penguins live?
Yeah.
And you also predicted that penguins swim. And guess what? We learned that there, didn't we? All right, great job. This is our finished product. All right, thanks, Aleeah.